Okay, welcome everybody. As Dr. Wysocki said, we'll start out with a very brief overview of the AFRL Information Directorate, which is located in Rome, New York. So let's get right into it. So on this slide, you can see our official mission and vision statement. It is to explore, prototype, and demonstrate high-impact, game-changing technologies. But what you need to know most when you walk away from this slide is that the Information Directorate, located in Rome, New York, is about C4I and cyber. That's what we do here. It's command and control, communications, computing, intelligence, and cyber science. Next slide, please. So that's a lot of territory to cover, a lot of technical ground to cover. We break that up into four, what we call core technical competencies, shown on this chart. So starting at the top in green, the first core technical competency, or CTC, is connectivity and dissemination. This is communications, networking, and secure information exchange. To the right, clockwise, is cyber science and technology. It's no secret that we are under attack in cyberspace. So we're looking for ways to shape the cyber domain to our advantage. There's also a component in here of coming up with new architectures that are impervious to attack, new ways of doing computing, non-von Neumann architectures. Then continuing counterclockwise, the third CTC is processing and exploitation. As the name implies, there's two components to this. There's processing and there's exploitation. Exploitation is about finding needles in a haystack, or more appropriately, finding a particular needle in a stack of needles. And then the processing component is, in order to do that exploitation, we need new processing architectures that are not the traditional IEEE floating point arithmetic. We need more computers that do reasoning, that think like a human would think. And so that's part of what that CTC is about. And then finally, our fourth CTC is autonomy, C2, and decision support. So this is about distributed command and control, about multi-domain operations, about autonomous operations, and artificial intelligence, the subject that we're all here to discuss. So there's a lot of territory here. As I said, normally this is an hour brief. We have about 10 minutes, so we're going to just touch on this very lightly. But I will tell you that in the slides, which either are posted or will be posted, there's additional material in each one of these CTCs. And there's also a slide on contact information for the leads for each of these core technical competencies. So if you need more information, you can follow up with them. Next, please. So let's talk about money. The Information Directorate executes $1.6 billion. Well, it executed $1.6 billion last year. It is actually down from a couple of years ago. A couple of years in a row, we flirted with nearly $2 billion of execution. About half of that is some flavor of Air Force money. And the rest of that is we do a lot of work with DARPA, with the intelligence community, with the other services. So there's a lot of money, as our director likes to say. Everybody wants what we're working on, and so there's a lot of interest in this area, and there's a lot of money at stake. Next, please. So we have our main facility here, about 30 different laboratories covering all of that space in C4I and cyber. There's communications laboratories, quantum science, neuromorphic computing, intelligence, up to 30 different laboratories. I'm just going to highlight a couple of our remote sites, which are also part of our facilities. The first is our Newport research site, which is about 30 miles east of Rome, New York. This is primarily used as an antenna test range. The facility actually consists of two separate facilities separated on different hilltops about 1.5 miles apart. So this allows us to radiate from one hill, receive on the other hill, while minimizing multipath and other adverse effects. As you can see in the background, it's a very remote environment, electromagnetically quiet. So other types of experimentation have been performed here as well. The number of commercial test agreements, 12 commercial test agreements for our commercial partners and academic partners. Basically every aircraft in our inventory has been tested on these pedestals. at this facility at one time or another. And you can see in the upper right of this figure is it has been on the cover of Aviation Week and Space Technology magazine twice. Next slide, please. So our other remote facility is about 30 miles southwest of Rome. This is our Stockbridge research facility. This facility has an interesting history. At its beginning back in the 1950s, it was actually used for pioneering aerial reconnaissance research. It was also used for electromagnetic compatibility testing. In more recent days, we're using it for a number of other cyber and radio frequency experimentation. You can also see that there is a unmanned aerial system testing that happens here, both with quad, octocopters, and fixed wing type of aircraft. You can see the runway in the background there. Again, this is it's in uncontrolled airspace, electromagnetically quiet environment. This is truly a national asset. People have come from as far away as Australia to use these facilities. And I'm highlighting these facilities because as our partners, as our academic and as our industrial partners, these are facilities that could be available to you. We have cooperative research and development agreements, commercial test agreements, contracts, other sorts of agreements that allow people to use our facilities in the advance of our research. Next slide, please. I'd also like to mention the Innovare Advancement Center. So this is our outside defense, our open campus initiative. This is allow us to have better interaction, not only with government, but also with industry, academia, non-traditional partners, people that perhaps would not be able to have access to our facilities. This allows us to do research with a much wider group of people. And this is just walking distance, just a couple of minutes. I could almost throw a stone as far as the Innovare Advancement Center. What makes, I think, Innovare unique is that they've identified a number of challenge problems, and you can kind of see some of those topics at the bottom in terms of quantum computing, neuromorphic computing, a small UAS or unmanned aerial system testing. So they identified a number of technical challenges as well as a number of macro challenges, such as increasing the competence and the number of people working in science, technology, engineering, and math fields. Next, please. So this is my last slide. I just want to point out that there's other opportunities. Again, this is only a very short introduction to the Information Directorate to give you a flavor of the kinds of work that we do here. I will point out that in the slides that are being posted, we have a list of nearly 40 broad agency announcements. Now, these are broad announcements that more specifically identify the types of technologies that we're interested in working on, such as terahertz communications, agent-based systems, multi-domain operations. Like I said, there's nearly 40 of them. Those are available online. You can find those, and also the listing includes the contact information for all of those people. So as I saw before, $1.6 billion, there's a lot of opportunity, and we're interested in innovative ideas. Bring us those innovative ideas and show us how that it would apply to the Air Force and why the Air Force should care about those things. And so again, this last slide talks about different exchanges that we're having with industry. We're here right now at the Trusted AI Pitch Day and Challenge Series. Coming up at the beginning of August is the AFCEA C4I and Cyber Conference, the Aspire Challenge in mid-August. I should say that the Hackasat 2 event, just learned, has been moved to December. And then also in October, there'll be a briefing to industry called the Rome Reps Industry Day. So that's a brief overview. I hope you found that useful. Lots of opportunities. We want your innovative ideas. We need your innovative ideas, and feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.